This segment is sponsored by TJ Homes. House hunting can be tough and trying to figure out when is the right time to move, not to mention the added stress with packing and coming up with a game plan and what works best for you and your family. Well, don't worry too much because joining me today is Tammy Jo, owner of TJ Homes, to share tips about the best time to move. Welcome, Tammy.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, like we said, moving is a stressor. It's just a lot going on.
I just did it, so I get it.
Oh, there you go. So, you know, what are some common things that you see go wrong when people try to move on their own or do anything moving-wise?
Well, what I see a lot of the time is that people get overwhelmed with the process. They look at their home, they look at their life and go, when's the right time?
Yes.
What do we do? And so first of all, figuring out when is the best time to move, and it's not usually when people are usually kind of bouncing the idea around for a while, but it turns into when life tells you you have to move.
Yes.
Usually it's a stressor that's added. Maybe you have a baby and that house that used to be super big and comfy is now a little bit too tight. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, when you have a kid is now graduating from college, the house is a little bit too large, and now you're feeling just a little bit too much space, or maybe a job relocation.
No, of course. And so how does TJ Homes come into play? You know, what do you guys do to help folks out with this process?
Well, our job at TJ Homes is to take care of you. And part of that is to make life a little bit easier when it comes to these big moves, knowing what the game plan is. What is step one? What is step 2 and 3?
Yeah. And so talking about a game plan and making a timeline, how, you know, why is that so important? You know, what kind of things do you make sure are on that list to go first?
Well, there's some pretty basic ones that we cover, like, you know, what are your goals? What's the next step for you? Where do you want to go? But a lot of it gets more in the deep down discussion.
Yes.
And one of my customers a couple years ago, they had me come out in May, I think it was the end of May. They said, okay, we're ready to move and we want to move in July. I said, fantastic. And then we did a deep down kind of that search.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, we just got a job. Oh, I said, congratulations. Well, they were living on the west side of Grand Rapids, and her job for school, she's starting a new teaching position, was toward Greenville.
Oh.
So you can imagine that what was once this perfect house, now the drive no longer worked.
Yep. Yeah.
And so we started going backwards with them. They were planning on moving in July. Let's put the house up in July. And I said, well, when does school start? That's when you start your position, right? And she goes, well, yeah, September 2nd. I said, but you don't want to move in the day you start your new job. Oh, no, because you can imagine the stress of that.
Yes.
And so what they did is they actually went backwards. I said, okay, well, let's give you a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks to kind of unpack boxes, gain your perspective a little bit, get your thoughts about the new job ready to go. And we started going, well, then we need 30 days for possession. We have to move it back again, 30 days for looking, you know, for the actual mortgage process, and then 30 days back. And I looked at them, and their eyes are getting kind of big, and they're seeing my notes on our schedule that we bring with us.
Yes.
And they're like, I said, so I turned the page, and I said, so basically we should be moving today.
Yep. Oh,
your house should be on the market today. And so then our discussion with them was, what can we fix this weekend to set us up so we can have pictures for next week? What can we take care of to get us top dollar for taking care of that?
So you really take the stress off of families.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, you know, most important is that you can book a free consultation with TJ Homes for free, and you really dive deep into everything that basically you just talked about, you know, what fits with everybody's families. So, I mean, that's amazing.
Well, thank you. And it's usually a 45-minute to an hour-long consultation, just enough to get us kind of enough up front to really build a good plan that's specific to you and your family.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Tammy. That
You're
was
very
wonderful.
welcome.
And if you want to book a free consultation with TJ Homes, you can visit their website at tjhomes.com. They also have a lovely app, and we have all of that information on our website, 13onyourside.com. Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you.